Alrighty, I'm going to quickly go over the event because we have everything confirmed now. Everything is solidified. I have all the facts for you. I'm going to quickly go over this and get into our construction update. So if you owned a May 28th ticket, you are now a July 8th ticket. And that will include 2 hours of ERT, early ride time from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So it is essentially coasters before breakfast. May 29th ticket holders, you are now September 6th ticket holders. The big event, so it'll have 1 hour of AlpenFury ERT, a tour of the maintenance shop, sign shop, a ride undisclosed right now, and a haunted house, and then a park Q&A, and then 2 hours of LRT on Leviathan and AlpenFury. The new day that we just added, September 20th, will also be a copy of the September 6th day, so they'll be exactly the same, and those tickets just went up for sale now. So for all of you who wanted tickets and can now attend because it's September, purchase them now because our last one sold out very quickly. So get those tickets now, link down below. But also for September 6th, you can also get the light up bracelets, LED bracelets, and the t-shirts on that same link for the September 20th date. So click that link. You can buy bracelets and shirts again if you wanted them for the event, or if you want tickets for the September 20th event. Thank you. Okay, let's get into it. For those of you that may not have noticed, the LED lights on Sledgehammer are back and functional. They switched between white and red through the ride sequence, so I thought that was really cool to mention in this update. Sledgehammer is such a great ride, and I know a lot of people have been debating if it's going to leave or not, so I just wanted to point out that they are still investing in this beast and upgrading its lighting package. So it now, again, I don't know if this is what it was like when it was first built, but it has the LED red and white lights that it switches between on Sledgehammer. So that's awesome. Definitely check it out at night to see those lights in function. The AlpenFury merch store, still a lot of work to do in there. As you can see, the insulation went in, but there's definitely still a lot of work to do. But with this, as you can tell, the electrical is installed. And yeah, they can get a lot of that work done very quickly. Inside the mountain, through the west side of the mountain, you can see that piping there, that is for scaffolding, and they appear to be working on the pullout of the launch and exit of the mountain with scaffolding. So interesting to see what that is. This is a very important clip. I want you to remember it because yesterday, this was filmed yesterday, they were working on the electrical boxes for the launch, and the launch was covered. And you'll see why that's important a little later on in today's video with today's footage. This is a clip from yesterday as well, so you can see different support structures on those flatbeds. 2 different supports just arrived on the flatbeds there. Those obviously went into the park very early today because there's brand new supports in the parking lot as of today afternoon, and I'll show you guys those later on in the video. I just wanted to show you guys sequences from yesterday. So this was filmed earlier today. As you can tell, it's still looking pretty barren in there. A lot of work to do inside the mound before you get it ready for AlpenFury. I don't know what they're going to do with a launch tunnel. I don't know if they meant tunnel because it's just, you know, an enclosed space technically now with all those new walls that have gone up. But we'll have to wait and see because the scaffolding is up at the pullout of the launch. So I don't know. Obviously, they can't put a tunnel right there because there's the sliding transfer track, and that would be really difficult to incorporate a tunnel there. So the tunnel might be a little bit further back, especially with the pullout of the the launch. With that being said, here is that support column that you saw in the parking lot yesterday. It is inside the park now. Definitely a good sign. Based off of my numbers and 2 supports arriving per flatbed, I think we have 2 more shipments left, possibly 1. I'll have to wait and see tomorrow, but we are down to 2 or 1 shipment left of supports to arrive before we can complete that stall. And if I had to take a wild guess, it's about 2 days of vertical construction max, and then about in total 3 to 4 in total, including that 2 days of torquing and getting the ride completed. As you can see here is some of those little lights that you'll see along the route of AlpenFury. Essentially, that's it. There is this wooden we'll talk about that later. A lot of people are thinking that's the camera. I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. I don't see a connection point. There is still some torquing needed along the ride route here, but as you can see, they started to get started here. Not quite sure what they need in this area. But again, this coaster has needed a little extra love here and there with spacer plates along the way. So we'll have to, and flanges. But the torquing for the most part is a continuous process that you'll see continue throughout, even once the roller coaster starts functioning. Safety fencing is going up along the ride. As you can see here, they've started to install it here as well. I really like the iron black fence that they've gone with. I'm not quite sure that's a lockout fence, though, so I'm curious to see what type of lockout style fence they'll need, or if that is a lockout fence and that's all they need. But yeah, here is one of the support columns on the double inverting top hat. Still not completed in terms of torquing, so they definitely need to do some torquing work on the double inverted top hat still. So that's been a very lengthy process. It's been that way for a bit. Here is some of that scaffolding you see there as well. It could be posts for the tunnel as well, but I think that's scaffolding if I had to take a wild guess. Outside of that, a lot of work going on in the station area, even though it does not look like it. So a lot of tiles going on the roof, a lot of wood framing going up on the outside of AlpenFury Station. The electrical room, they were working in there late last night as well. We saw the flashlights in there, so that was cool to see. Could have been Wonderland maintenance, though, so you never know. But outside of that, no evident work going on with the queue line, even though they have been working on, again, the wood structure, so the aesthetics of AlpenFury Station. So it is a very lengthy process. Again, this new tunnel that they dug, it does look like it's going to be a walkway because they built this little walkway type path. It looks like a path. It is hard to guess what I'm saying, but it looks like it goes off and veers off to the left. And this is kind of where that maintenance bay is for AlpenFury, as well as heading towards the launch. So it could be an emergency evacuation exit to the ride. That would make the most amount of sense for me, or even just a maintenance entrance. But I don't think it's a maintenance entrance because they already have one through that first tunnel they built under Vortex's lift. So I think it's an emergency evacuation if they need to evac the launch if it ever gets stuck. Again, here's that wood they've been installing on AlpenFury's launch. I just want to point something out for you guys. That is the air cooling system for the launch. So it is going to use an air cooling system. Those are essentially giant fans that'll help cool the fins after the train launches after each use. So those are not hooked up to the fins quite yet. But that is the air cool system for AlpenFury's first launch, and I assume the main launch will use that as well. Rockscapes was there working today on painting the rocks and getting that all done. It's going to look so great when it's done. I love Rockscapes' work. There is that wood framing they've been adding to the outside of AlpenFury Station. Can't wait to see what the station building looks like after it's complete. It's got a lot of grand archways, especially that exit out of the station into the main launch. It's going to look so nice, just that giant archway. Here is them working on the roofing tiles of AlpenFury Station. So it definitely looks like they still have a decent amount of work to do, but they're getting there. They're getting there. They are in no hurry, though, to be honest. With the amount of work that is still to do with AlpenFury, they got time. They got another week to work on that. Trying to sneak a peek in there. There's the pull out of the launch. So as you can see, that little thing angled upward. Can't see much though. Here's the new supports that have arrived. There's 3 new supports in the parking lot. So here's one of those new ones. It'll probably be heading into the park tomorrow morning, you know. And then hopefully it's just one shipment left, but it could be 2. I've lost track of how many shipments arrived. Has it been 3? If it's been 3, I think it's only one more. But yeah. So with that being said, I'm trying to think if there was anything else to cover. Yes, so they've been patching up the mountain for AlpenFury, which is a good sign. Obviously, other work is still needed. They're not going to leave it looking like that, what you just saw. And they are going to be patching up these big holes as well, as we saw evidence of that on the other side of the hole for that main giant support. Here's just another look at that hole with, again, which is most likely going to be the evac for AlpenFury. But Honestly, AlpenFury is really up in the air. You're going to see a clip soon that's going to give you a little bit of hope, because I know you're seeing all these clips right now and you're probably like, oh man, this thing is still like a month and a half, 2 months out. But we're going to talk about it. So, and this is part of the topic. So you see these sensors plugged in along the route. You can see them plugged into that little slider grate thing. We'll talk about that in a second, but here's that little entrance sign. I think I put this out of sequence. I'm so sorry. This is that little, I think, going to be one of the side entrances, like entrance signs for AlpenFury. I do not think that's the main sign there. But yeah, and those are the hoses that'll probably connect up to those air cooling system, by the way, that little white tubes. And that's a better shot of the air cooling system. So just something really cool to talk about. And credit to Surya for pointing that out to me for AlpenFury. We are going to talk about... Oh, yes! See the green light? Guys, the launch is on. Those green boxes, the main power units, the PLC of the launch, it's on, and the sensors are on in there too. You'll see that in a second. So that was really cool. This was filmed today. I'm super excited. That's a really good sign. So to give you guys a little hope, programming of, the launch like we saw in the brake run is happening as well. So you can see that little sensor box down there. Its little green light is on. And then the green light is on the box over there as well. So definitely a good sign. Obviously, they still have a lot more work to do in terms of programming as well. But it looks like the green light is on. So obviously, I take that with a grain of salt. It could be anything. Like the power could just be on, and the lights are just on. But it looks like the power is on for both that sensor box and that PLC box. So definitely keep that in mind, that they were in there playing around and the launch was uncovered. So that's definitely good news as well. But we'll keep an eye out for you guys. And again, if you want to join us for our big event, stay tuned for more information. But the dates are solidified. Don't worry, guys. We worked really hard on that. That was truthfully exhausting. But yeah, we finally have the dates. If you really want to join us, that third date is open up. I would buy your tickets now because, again, like we said, we sold out that big event very quickly. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. Bye.